Now, after the games we looked, when it's easier for you to understand what is going on here, let's move a bit on the board and see what's going on in the theory. The main challenge here for white is to solve the problem with c1 bishop, as when he moves, b2 pawn is hanging, and b3 move is not easy to do because of a1 h8 diagonal, which is controlling our g7 bishop. So let's say now b3 it's impossible because of knight d5. So in the theory there are moves like h3, preventing knight g4 move, but this move don't give anything to white. As we will see later, there is another strong idea for black is knight b6, knight fd7. Another move is rook e1 that is played, but it don't give anything to white, queen a5, as e4 is most of the time a problem for white because they are weakening d3 square. Play just knight g4, knight e5. You should know from previous games how important is d3 square. So one of my lines here is queen c2 move. Now is possible knight b6, as we saw in one of the games, attacking immediately on d5. Rook d1, rook a7, queen a8, rook b8 is the idea. Now, as you remember, b3 is impossible because of knight fd5. Rook b1 is also not possible because of bishop c4 and white is losing a pawn. After rook a7, however, the strongest move here for white is a4. Queen a8. Now we want to take on d5. Knight e1. As you see, white trying to all the time avoid e4 move. Knight e1. This is very interesting position and it's very playable. Black has good compensation, but I believe after queen c2, queen a5 move is much stronger. Why I think so? Because we continue to put big pressure on c3 knight. And again, like b3 move again not possible because knight d5. If rook b1 with idea b3, then bishop c4. Now we want to take on d5. And if knight d2, if you take now on bishop a2, there is rook a1. But after knight d2 we play knight b6. We continue to put pressure on d5, next move we will take it, and if white take knight c4, knight c4, next move like rook fb8 is coming, if b3 then knight a3, bishop a3, queen a3, this is a very strong position for black. After knight d7 it may be rook b8, then bishop c3 will be possible, and a2 pawn will be last. So after queen a5, rook d1. Now there is possible rook fb8, there is possible knight g4, but the strongest move here is knight b6. Knight is going to b6, preparing knight d7 move. TV concept, after knight d7, bishop g7 will work very good, and after knight c4, rook fb8, there will be big pressure on white. So let's say h3, this move don't give anything, just after knight fd7, knight c4, rook b8. Again after knight b6, b3 is impossible, the same pin. After knight b6, if rook b1 with idea b3, then bishop c4 or knight fd7, not letting to play b3 because of knight c3, and if bishop d2, knight c4, bishop e1, rook fb8. Just look on black pieces. Very hard to play for white. b3 is still not possible because of knight a3. After queen a5, probably the strongest move is bishop d2 immediately instead of rook d1. Bishop d2, rook fb8 and b3. After long analysis I found here that the best move here is queen p4. Idea, we want to play c4 and crush the queen side. And the thing here is that after knight a4 there is a very strong move, queen e4. e2 pawn is hanging, d5 pawn is hanging. After queen a4, knight a4, bishop g7 is working there, e2 pawn is hanging, and after queen a4 there is a big problem for white. So b3, queen b4, they should not play knight a4, maybe rook c1 or something rook b1, but still c4 and big compensation for black. So in the theory there is only one move that put a little bit questions for black, which we will examine in the next video.